Hello and welcome to the Ramblings of a 42-Year-Old Man. Chris Smith here today, and I am going to ramble a little bit about a couple of books by an author. It's actually the first two parts of a trilogy. And we're going to go into a little bit about the author's background and these two novels and why I enjoyed them so much that I just had to talk about them. These two books are called My Heart is a Chainsaw and Don't Fear the Reaper. They're both written by Stephen Graham Jones. Now, Stephen Graham Jones is a Blackfoot Native American. He is a professor, actually, of English at the University of Colorado, Boulder. And he has been writing books and stories for 20-something years. But he's really hit it big in the last few years. Starting kind of with 2020, he released a novel called Only Good Indians. Kind of his version, he says, of what if you put Jason Voorhees on an Indian reservation. And so you run with that premise here, and you'll kind of get the idea between that book and these two here. He is definitely very much a love of the slasher genre. It permeates his books. The three that I've read so far, that he has many more that I'm trying to track down to read because I've enjoyed these ones so much. But starting with that premise for The Only Good Indians, and then we jump into these two. So My Heart is a Chainsaw is the first book. It was released in August of 2021. And I'm just going to kind of read the synopsis real quick on this one. So, Jade Daniels is an angry, half-Indian outcast with an abusive father, an absent mother, and an entire town that wants nothing to do with her. She lives in her own world, a world in which the protection comes from an unusual source, horror movies. Especially the ones where a mass killer seeks revenge on the world that wronged them. And Jade narrates this quirky history of proof rock as if it's one of those movies. But when the blood actually starts to spill in the waters of Indian Lake, she pulls up into her dizzying encyclopedia mind of blood and mass murderers and predicts exactly how the plot will unfold. So as you can see, definitely a love of the slasher there. Jade Daniels, the character of this book, is very much all about slashers. She is a kind of younger protagonist, and she's had some family drama, of course, so some dark history actually in her family, and obviously the town itself has some dark history as well. And so they're able to kind of pull from that and pull from her experiences, and then pull from all the slasher tropes that she has learned throughout her time of how to navigate the situation that arises in her town. And so that is My Heart is a Chainsaw. It is definitely a love letter to the slasher genre. Her knowledge of slashers, so, going with that, the authors, Stephen Graham Jones's knowledge of slashers is just crazy. They're pulling out little one-liners and look-backs and calling out to just even slashers that I don't know of sometimes. And I've seen a lot of stuff. But it is definitely a treat for those who are fans of the genre, and just overall great story, period. Very good book. Very enjoyable. Younger protagonist who's going through a lot right now. That's kind of a great kind of final girl starter, even though she's fighting against that term the entire book. But again, My Heart is a Chainsaw. I love that one a lot. But in my opinion, it's actually topped by Don't Fear the Reaper. I actually enjoyed this one even more. So this one was just released just last month, February of 2023. And this is the sequel to My Heart is a Chainsaw. It takes place 4 years after the original and the events that happened there. Spoilers for the end of My Heart is a Chainsaw, Jade Daniels returns, so she made it through that book. But she's definitely a different person than she was originally. She's, a little older, a lot more mature. She's trying to put that's all the slasher stuff that was so much a part of her life. She's trying to get past that. She's going by her actual name, which is Jennifer. She's not wanting to be called Jade anymore. And so what kind of unfolds is another story with a great protagonist that you're following with, and the situation that's happening again in this Proof Rock, which is the area where Jade lives. And what I love about this book, what makes it maybe a little bit more for me better than My Heart is a Chainsaw, is that we're not just with Jade the whole time. We get to be with some other characters as well, including some other survivors from the first book. And it really opens up that world a little bit. We're not just seeing everything through the eyes of a don't mind the pun, a jaded 17-year-old girl who's going through all this stuff. We're hearing from, sheriffs or former sheriffs or were, friends of hers that were in the first book and that went through the same kind of stuff that she went through, and the way that they've each reacted to it. She has a best friend who was not all about slashers in the original book, and here her way of coping with everything that's happened is she has become obsessed with slashers. So it's almost like they've switched places a little bit. But the character work is great. Jennifer / Jade Daniels, the maturity that she shows, but then when she gets stuck in the situation again, the way she's still able to pull back on those roots that she has, all the knowledge that she has from the slasher genre, and use that to her advantage, makes her a great, what's going to be a middle book, because there is a third book upcoming. In fact, I read an interview where Stephen Graham Jones says he's already written it. He's turned it in for editing. He's on the notes portion of it now, which of course, when you're an author, you got to take the notes and kind of see how you integrate those suggestions in the book. So it's still being worked on, but overall, it's getting there. The title has been chosen. They are not released it yet, so we'll see what that is. But I'm sure it'll be something fun, just like My Heart Is a Chainsaw and Don't Fear the Reaper were very fun titles. And I'm very excited. I can't wait for this third one to come out. I listened to both of these on audiobook, and I had to jump out and get the hardcovers because A, they're beautiful, and B, I really wanted to sit down and take my time and read these. I listen to a lot of these books while I'm working, and as much as I'm paying attention to them, there's times where I'm having to focus in on some of the stuff I'm working on. I might miss things here or there. I really wanted to delve into these on a deeper level, so I'm very excited to have them, read them, and just get more into the world that Stephen Graham Jones has to offer. As I said, I'm looking into more of his work to see what else I can find and read or listen to audiobooks of, and he's got a lot of stuff out there. So really great writer, really fun, and of course, being that I love the slasher genre myself, I love all of these things because he really puts that slasher background into them all, and that's just right up my alley. So again, that's Stephen Graham Jones. First book in this trilogy is My Heart Is a Chainsaw. The second one, Don't Fear the Reaper. Third one upcoming. Very excited to see that when it comes out, and I'm also very excited to see what else I can track down from this author because I've loved everything he's done so far. So if anybody's interested, please look him up. I'm sure your library would have a lot of his stuff. Otherwise, you can find his novels on Amazon and bookstores, anywhere where you can get your books. You'll be able to find them. Thank you for listening, and everybody have a great day.